So it says that we're live right now, but it's
We're
not.
live, baby.
Yeah, you see us?
I see us, dude.
All right, cool. Yeah, I have two test videos on there that we're going to have to get rid of.
We're
All
live. We're live
right.
and in
What's up,
charge.
dude?
What's up, man? Nothing much.
Have
How are
we.
you? Are you Alpin, dude?
I'm Alpin. I'm RFK. I can't do the RFK
Are
impersonation.
you Alpin? I'm trying to live life from my confirmation
That's
era.
pretty good. Did you see the
It's
girl
jacked up,
online
though.
that her impersonation? Well, yeah, you saw it because we talked about it. But her impersonation is just her shaking. She's like,
Yeah, dude. There's so many people that are dunking on that guy, and I don't get it.
including his own family, dude, which is wild.
Yeah, I mean, criminals are gonna criminal. You know what I mean? Criminals are gonna
Yeah, that's what my dad always said.
criminal elites, dude. Criminal elites.
I talked to my dad today about RFK and all that stuff. He's a piece of shit, Vinny. Even his family goes after him. I was like, all right, well, think about it this way. Like, his family is putting all of their family drama on blast. So who's the bad one? He's like, oh, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. And I was like, yeah, plus his, like, nephew is making fun of his own voice. Like, his voice is fucked up because of a medical issue. Like, that's fucked up, dude.
It's just like, dude, if you like, I understand people have problems in their family and people don't like members of their family or they harbor resentments against their members of their family.
Yeah, I'm one of
Shut
them.
up, dude. Just shut up and don't bring that stuff. Don't bring your baggage to the internet and try to dunk on somebody. It's not cool, man. Just
Yeah, it's
let it
pretty
go,
shitty, dude.
Let it go. So what's new with you, dude? What are you doing? How's the brewery going? Vincent owns a brewery.
I own a
As
brewery. I'm part.
part owner of a brewery.
Thank you. Yeah, I have 20% of a brewery. It's doing good, man. It's just
A lot of work.
it's a lot of work, and I'm in a different state, so
Yeah.
I don't have to go there every day. But it would almost be better if I was there every day, dude. Just because it's kind of hard being here and like seeing what's happening, and being like, oh yeah, that sounds rough, and then not being able to go and help. But yeah, I do a lot of the social media stuff and then like the beer label, like all the design stuff for the brewery. And it's a lot of fun. I've got to make some really cool labels, which I actually enjoy the most. Um, but yeah, it's going
What
good.
would you say is the biggest challenge from a small business perspective? And I know like you're not really running the day to day because you're in a different state, but what just from like conversations that you have with everybody running there, what would you say is the biggest kind of hurdle?
The biggest hurdle is just the fact that it's a new business and we don't like we're making enough to survive, but we're not making enough to thrive.
Right, right.
So it's like a few months ago we had a break-in where a guy broke in the door and he was trying to steal stuff and all we had was a shitty iPad and he took that. But like he took an iPad that was probably worth $80, but the door that he broke was 2,000. And that was $2,000 we didn't really have in the bank to begin with, so
Right.
we had to figure stuff out. Yeah, it's rough, dude. We're in California, so all of the expenses for that, the insurance companies pretty much dropped all breweries, so there's like one insurance company left, and because of that, they can charge whatever they want. So they charged us three times what we're paying per month.
Unreal.
Our lease like doubled after we got it, and it's a small space, and it's just yeah, it's hard, man.
They need to your the other people. First of all, shout it out. What's the name of your brewery,
Yeah,
dude? And where's it at?
Common Corners in Walnut, California. We make fantastic beer.
It is good.
It's really good. My brother-in-law is the lead brewer, and he worked at a few breweries in Orange County. And then we were lucky enough to start this, and he took all of his knowledge and pretty much makes whatever he wants. It's great, dude. I really enjoy it. I wish it was closer. It's my
And
only thing.
let me tell you something. It is good beer. I'm not a beer person.
Thanks,
I'm
dude.
not like my wife. It's funny because
My
my wife
wife.
and Vince bond over beer in a way that I just am left out of the conversation because I'm like I don't. It just all tastes the same to me. I mean, relatively. There's stuff that definitely stands out, but it is, man. It's good times, good vibes, good people that work there. A lot of Trump supporters, but
The complete opposite,
the
dude.
complete opposite.
Oh
Other than
man.
that, no, it is a good time, and I'm rooting for you guys, man. I
Thanks,
think
man.
it's cool. I think it's cool. And anytime, the older I get, the more respect I have for people in business because you start to understand that like the real risk takers in the world are the people that start businesses because
Yeah.
especially in California, I don't like I saw the writing on the wall in that place, and once our home insurance got canceled and property tax like got ridiculous and everything else like that, it's my heart goes out to California with everything that they got going on with the fires and everything, because unfortunately, man, I just think that stuff's going to get worse until you get some of these career politicians out. It's going to be a good time. But let's not get political.
We're not getting political.
We're not getting political.
Your beliefs are your own, dude.
We're not getting
but I will pocket an Alp whenever I'm having
that's not political. That's freedom, man.
Was his was a Senate hearing or a congressional hearing?
His was a Senate hearing.
Okay.
Confirmation hearing to be the HHS director or secretary, whatever the term is.
Yeah.
But, man, it's been a fiery few days with all the people that are trying to get confirmed for new roles in the government, man. Those Democrats, they don't want to let these guys in, dude. And it's weird because it's like the questions that are being asked don't pertain to really the relevance of the position. It's more about like, we're going to just take this day to completely like run your character
through the ringer,
in the
dude.
shit, in the dirt.
It's personal attacks, and then it's also like, are you going to go after all of us that have been breaking the law? Because that's not fair. It's like, well, I mean,
yeah,
they're going to do their job and they're going to withhold the Constitution, and especially for the Cash Patel guy, like all the questions are like, are you going to go after this guy? And he's like, well, I'm going to go after people that broke the law. So if he didn't break the law, then we're going to be fine. And they're like, oh, he's going to go after that guy. It's like, oh, well, just be a good person and you're fine, dude.
Well, unfortunately, the last administration, the FBI was run, politically, and it was run against the political rivals, and they were very worried that that's going to swing back on them. And it's understandable. That's why you shouldn't open that can of worms. That's why all of the government agencies should be run politically neutral. Now, can you really do that? I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
At least present that. So it's theater, man. It's all theater. And
yeah,
I gotta admit, it's fun to watch, and some of the clips that come out of these hearings are hilariously funny. Some of the questions, and then I'll leave it at this, but some of the questions are they reveal more about the person asking the question, dude. I think a lot of times than they do the person the questionee.
100%, dude. And a lot of the questions, like we were laughing about today, like they state a question that is clearly not a yes or no, but they front load it saying it's going to be a yes or no. And then when the person tries to explain that, like, explain their answer, they just start screaming and saying it's a yes or no. And it's like, well, the parameter for this is massive, and you're, it's too much.
A lot of questions are like, you have to contextualize an answer because they're complex. They're not, you're dealing with things like, Homeland Security and, how in RFK's, in his, what he's doing is like the health of the country. And it's so fascinating to see how many politicians are like, well, the science is settled. It's like, dude, can you imagine if like that was the take of the government 100 years ago or 200 years ago? And, we would have never gotten out of the Industrial Revolution or the Enlightenment period, because it's like, it's settled. Let's just
we're done. We're fine. I just started that Erik Larson book that's about the Civil War. Dude, I'm only like 17% in, but I love the in-depth like nature of it and how he goes through each person. So right now he's going through like where Honest Abe was when he was becoming the nominee for the Republicans, and then and then like the Democratic side, and nothing's happened yet, but just like the way that he writes is incredible. And then I'm listening to the audiobook, and I can't remember, is it Will Patton? Is that an actor?
Yeah.
Will Patton narrates it, and he's so good. And
there's a book that I read that Will Patton's the narrator on. It might be what's the book about H.H. Holmes? What's that? Devil in the White City.
Does he do it?
I don't think he does it, but he does another book that I've read. Where, maybe it's the Bob Dylan book.
Oh, okay.
One of them. Anyway, he's a great narrator. He's from
so good, dude. And I heard his voice, and I was like, I know who this is. Who is this? Who is this?
He's been in a ton of stuff. He always, whenever I hear Will Patton or I hear his voice, I always think of Remember the Titans.
Oh
He plays the
yeah,
coach in Remember the Titans, or one of the coaches.
yeah.
That's kind of the adversary at the beginning to Denzel Washington. But yeah, dude, Devil in the White City is a great book. I'm reading 1776 right now,
Okay,
and
nice.
it's the way it's written is so good because like, and I haven't gotten very far. I'm in the first few chapters, but certain authors can really, really, really pull you in. Eric Larson is definitely one of those. The thing that I love about Devil in the White City, one, they just announced that that movie's been
Oh,
revived with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is the perfect casting for H.
oh
H. Holmes.
yeah,
If you look at a picture of H. H. Holmes, it looks like Leonardo DiCaprio with a handlebar mustache.
dude.
But that's going to be great. And if Martin Scorsese directs it, woo! Look
Yeah,
out,
man.
dude. The thing I love about Devil in the White City is the city of Chicago and what's going on with the Chicago World's Fair is as much a character as anything else in that
100%,
book.
dude.
And it's so cool the way that like the politics surrounding that, how it was kind of in the shadow of the World's Fair of Paris where the Eiffel Tower was built, and how like everything is kind of reactionary to that World's Fair, and these American industrialists are like, we got to be better than the French.
Yeah, dude. It's
Which a lot of things are created because people are trying to be better than the French. Let's face it. I mean, this country exists probably in a lot of ways because of that. Have you been watching Severance?
I have, dude. I am a fan.
Me too, dude. In a way, in like, I'm a fan of it in a way that I haven't been of a show in a really long time.
Yeah.
And like when we first started watching my mom started watching and she was asking me about it. She goes, I've started it 3 times and I've turned it off every time. I'm like, you got to get through the halfway point of that show to where you start to really kind of understand what's going on. But I'll be honest, like I wasn't excited about it when I started watching it. And then even coming back to the second season just started. I think this week is episode 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited about watching it. It had been so much time. It's been like over a year since it was last on. But then I started watching it again, and I watched the recap. That's one thing I love about YouTube, dude. Is like,
Oh, same. I did the same thing, and then I've been doing the for the new season. I've been doing the episode breakdowns.
yeah,
Which is only 2, but yeah, I love YouTube for that, dude. And I always forget that that's an option. So I was gonna start watching season 1 again before this came out, and then I think I got like 2 or 3 episodes in. I was like, what the fuck? I can just go on YouTube and it's 20 minutes and I have the whole season.
There's not enough time. I used to, when I was younger, dude, I'd go back and rewatch, do deep dive and like binge all this. I don't have the patience and I don't have the time for it. I got a 3-hour window at night, but that kind of leads me into what I was thinking. I can't help but watch Severance and be like, why can't we have Severance in our real world, dude?
Dude, I was thinking
awesome
the
would it
same
be?
thing. Yeah, would you do work Severance, or would it be like more for pleasure?
I would do all Severance.
All of them?
I would Severance work. I'd Severance being a father. I'd Severance being a husband. I'd Severance funerals. I'd Severance birthdays. I'd Severance weekend, hangouts with friends, with family. I would not know what was going on in 85% of my life, and I would have 3 hours every day where my Audi was like, I'm gonna watch Madden YouTuber, dude. I got 3 hours, and then my life would just be accumulation of 3-hour windows. But think about that, like you would only live the 3 hours of your life that you want to be present for.
Well, I think first off, the father one would be hard because you'd have to switch that back and forth so often, dude.
No, just
like
tell
you
me
could
what I did. Just tell me what I did. Give me a report card. Be like, hey, this is the stuff that you focused on, and I can either be like, yeah, cool, I'm doing a good job, or I can make a video for my innie and be like, hey, you're being a terrible father. You need to step it up. I got to get back to my YouTube, but listen, if I have to come back here, I would father my innie the way I would want my innie to father my kids.
Okay, I like that. So
You know what I'm saying?
you would be scolding your father any for mistakes, even though you weren't aware of the mistakes happening.
Dude, I would, but that's what I'm saying. Like if there was a way to Severance segments of your life, but then you got like an end of the week
Recap
progress
of it?
report on
Yeah.
what was going on and like what you did. Like what would be terrible is if it's like, hey, you pulled your dick out at Sally's party this weekend and
You dropped
no
off the kids
there.
naked, and
Yeah,
now
you-
father
you dro-
any is.
and I have to get on and make a video, be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Why? What was the situation in which you pulled your dick out at Sally's party? I need you to report back, and I need to know because this is a problem, my friend.
What if you did it for so long that like your different selves? Did you ever see the movie Multiplicity?
Yeah.
what if it's like to the point where you're like it just turns into different personalities, but like the lived experience of each any an outie self just
Yeah.
completely formed into a different person, dude,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
but
starts fighting each other.
well, I think that might be where we're heading in this
Yeah.
show. And I think like that's the interesting thing about what's the girl's name in the show?
Oh, I'm
The one
terrible.
that's like she's the daughter of the CEO.
Yeah, I'm
And that
terrible
was
with names.
super compelling. Like the fact that
Yeah.
like she's kind of like a double agent and you don't really know like did she when she was in there, did she go in there looking to like weed out and infiltrate these people that are trying to reform Severance, or
Well, I
like is she a double agent? Her name's Helly Riggs. Helly
Helly, yeah,
Riggs.
Helly. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like she was put in there to kind of make the company look better. Like, oh, we
Yeah.
even do it ourselves. But it does seem like the maybe it's the suppressed like nature of base Helly is coming out in her severed form, and the rebellion against everything that her family's for is maybe bottled up in her, but unleashed in this. I don't know. I absolutely love the show.
Or maybe it's just that like her innie and her outie are two separate people. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like, you know,
Well, to
like
to
just cut me
speak,
off.
yeah, to speak on the last episode, it was very slow, but I've never had an issue with being like engaged in the show, even if
Yeah.
it's slow. I love the concept, and from episode one, I was sold, dude. But the newest episode, the thing that I'm really excited to see is she watches the video of her and the main guy kiss,
Yeah.
and she's like so intrigued in what's happening, and seems like maybe her personal like outie self is missing that. So it seems like I don't know. It seems like almost the base Helly is gonna say fuck it, and she prefers this inner self and is gonna throw away everything, including her family's legacy. But then also like it's great writing, so maybe it's just making me feel that way. And then at some point she's just gonna fuck
Yeah, see
all those innies up, dude.
what I think is going to happen is I think that the innies and the outies are two completely separate people. It's like a split personality, it's split
Yeah.
consciousness. So what I think is going to happen is like you're going to start getting closer and closer to your inner and out, your innie and your outie, and it's going to meld those two different consciousnesses into one. And I think the way that like they're doing that is through rebellion. And I think that's super cool, super compelling. Ben Stiller, by the way, is the dude
Ben
behind
Stiller,
it.
yeah, dude.
He's crushing it.
He's crushing it. And then I've been going on X and like kind of seeing. I don't think I follow him, but I've followed and like liked enough Severance things that it's been popping into my feed.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to see him retweet people that are like either absolutely love the show or absolutely despise it. And his interaction, I don't know. I've always been a fan of Ben Stiller, and this might be, besides Heavyweights, this might be my favorite project of his.
Heavyweights is dude.
Heavyweights is so good, dude.
Let's
His
just be
character,
canceled today due to lack of hustle.
Dude.
Deal with it. Gerald Garner.
that and Tropic Thunder are my favorites, dude.
My
It's so
favorite.
good.
I have so many. I love Zoolander. The first Zoolander is
Yeah.
epic and amazing. I even love like Starsky and Hutch gets crapped on all the
I've
time.
never
but
seen it.
I love Starsky and Hutch. I don't know if it would hold up the same way if you watched it now.
Okay.
I'd like to think that it did, but dude, my favorite Ben Stiller character is the 30 seconds in Happy Gilmore where he plays the orderly Hal.
Yeah.
I have it like my ringtone is him going, you could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Now you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
Dude, it's so
Check out
good.
the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Isn't there like an online conspiracy that his character from Heavyweights is it
Yeah.
that character?
It's also very similar to his character in Dodgeball.
Okay, yeah.
Dodgeball's great too, dude.
Maybe it's Dodgeball.
Ben Stiller had like a 5-year run, dude, where he was just putting out
Yeah.
everything. Dude, Meet the Parents.
Meet
the
the
original
Parents.
Meet the Parents is a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. It shouldn't be as good as it is. Anyway, but he's crushing Severance.
He's crushing it.
I would love to be able to just check out and pop back in, get a status report, not have to deal with death. Just, and then like one day my innie will die and I'll be like, well, that was a good run. And then I'll, multiplicity it.
Yeah,
Multiplicity it.
multiplicity.
Yeah, great show.
what's the funniest situation of a severed Eli that you could do? Like it would be I was thinking about this and like the different Vinces that it would be funny to isolate. And of
Yeah,
course there's like the sex Vince that his
yeah,
whole lifespan is just constantly
yeah.
just he wakes up and it's go time, dude.
Yeah, but I love the concept of like obviously I'm kidding about the being a parent and being
Oh
a
yeah,
husband, but I think it's funny to it's hilarious to think
it's,
about, you know. But I think you know, I would love to explore different career paths severed from myself, like be like a party clown. Just see how far I could get in the party clown world, and then you know, like again, if you're getting progress reports of what's going on,
yeah. Do you think there'd
then
be like a severed app that for some
yeah,
reason like is able
there
to
you go.
record all
That's
interactions and your
I
base self can only control the app and it's like, oh, notification, Daddy Eli exposed himself at the
or
elementary school today.
or like Daddy Eli like raged out tonight and threw something against the wall and like really was like a 1960s post World War II dad, and you really need to talk to him
Dude. And then
because it's awful.
would you reinforce your other selves behaviors with like
Candy,
not no not candy but
candy.
like if you do real like if you do what you're supposed to be doing really well for this month, you as that self gets to choose a different self that you get to experience it. So like say you have a sex self, you
No,
get to
well,
like
I don't. I wouldn't
you,
want to sever sex. Why would you want like that's the what you want to be in the moment for. You don't want to sever that. I think like I wouldn't want to like. So you're talking about like an inception sever, like where you're in the sever and you're severing that sever and you just I wouldn't want to give my any in whatever capacity, whatever genre of my life, I wouldn't want to give my any control because that's like
oh
that's
you,
how you know that they're going to
that
revolt against you if
that's
they
when the
have any
rebellion
control.
happens. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
because they
saying
understand
like
that they're slaves.
so you got to reinforce your split personality
No,
somehow. So like
no videos.
work Eli gets to go watch YouTube videos once a month for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
No, I don't
It'd
know.
keep
They
them in
don't deserve
line.
it. Why do they like all they know is work?
Well,
They don't know
you
YouTube videos.
incentivize it. You
No, they don't
ABA
know,
that
but they don't
shit, dude.
know. They don't know YouTube videos. They
You
don't know why
get
that's a
5
pleasure.
stars this week, and you get to go on YouTube and
No,
you get to
you know what you
watch.
get as if you're a proper innie and you're doing the will of your Audi, you get praise and you get me not being mad at you.
Okay,
That's the incentive, dude. It's a very psychologically screwed up situation. I'm willing to admit that.
okay, so
But
you're gonna be the type of dude that gives your any like a melon party for doing well this month,
yeah, exactly. I'm
dude.
showing up with the fruit basket like Melchuk, and
Yeah.
I'm going. Hey, you're doing great, and I just want to say that. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one severed area of my life. Any situation where I'm going through the drive-through, and they bring out the card reader because I still have a chip. I don't have a tap.
Yeah.
I have Apple Pay on my phone, but I still have a chip, dude. And they do the awkward thing where they're like, they put it up and then there's this awkward like as you insert it because it never goes in perfectly. Maybe I should sever my sex life. I don't know, but
You might have
it
better
never,
aim, dude.
there's this awkward thing, and then they always end up taking your card and just doing it, and like
I don't have
you
that
never
problem,
make
dude.
you never make eye contact, dude. It's always like okay. The other day I got pulled over by a police officer. I would sever that. I would hope that I would get out of the
I
ticket.
can see that going bad, dude.
It could go bad, but
It
again,
would go
I wouldn't
bad.
be responsible. Much like the severed show, I might have maybe I have to bail my dude. Maybe you have to bail out your innie.
Yeah, well, and the cop has to like access your severed app to come to the base of Eli. I feel
No, I think
like
the cop would just be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that your innie got arrested tonight. He pulled his dick out at Sally's birthday party. By the way, Sally's an adult. I want to make that clear. Sally,
I thank you
like,
for
is an
clearing that up
infantilized name.
because I kept talking
No,
about like
yeah, I
elementary
mean it's all
schools.
like egregious, and I was just thinking of like the worst possible. There's worse things your innie could do. Don't
There,
get me
it's
wrong,
very true. Yeah, self
dude.
harm and harming
What if
others.
you're like, because then it could get trippy, dude. Like, what if you're watching an episode of like Unsolved Mysteries, and there's like a murder, and you're like, the more you watch it, you're like, oh my god, that's my innie is probably the one that's committing these murders.
It's just a drawing of you, and you're like, oh fuck, dude.
What if instead of like a passive innie severance experience, it's just an ambitious? Like you to really test your metal and see like what you could actually do in your life. Like, could I be a murderer? Like, let's send out an innie and he's like jacked up and you're like, hey, go for it. Okay. This is what we're doing. Like, don't get caught. If you get caught, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you and I'm not gonna bail you out.
So like a Dexter meets Severance thing?
Kind of.
Dude. Well,
Kind
the
of.
whole concept is like whenever the new innie is formed, they're able to like be a human, but they have no recollection or what is
Yeah.
the word? I've had a few
Recollection.
recollection. They don't know what's happening. So you could change the like environment for each inning and you
Yeah.
can just be like, hey, you just woke up. The aliens have been harvesting humans for 100 years. You've been in this bunker. You need to get out and you need to do all this stuff and just completely like it is yourself. So you
I mean,
potentially
that's the beauty
don't.
of it is like you could create like they don't know what the world that you live in is like.
Yeah.
So you could create anything. You could warp these people's minds. I mean, sure, it's yourself, so it's kind of twisted. But why not an exercise, Severance? Why
Yeah.
not send an innie to work out? That would benefit you because you'd come out swole and you wouldn't have to go through the pain of working out. You know, there's like, I'm sitting in a movie and like 30 minutes in, I'm going like, it's like, let's say we're watching Long Legs and I'm in the theater and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be as good as the marketing make it seem. I'm going to Severance out of the rest
Which
of
is
the movie.
false.
Dude,
That
don't get me
movie was
started
great.
on that.
That
But
movie
I'm a
was
Severance
great.
out of that movie. I'm going to Severance out of having to watch, binge watch a show that isn't as good as Severance with my wife. I'm checking out. I'll still be there. I'll have all the knowledge of what the show is about, but I won't have to sit through the 7 filler episodes in a 15 episode season.
So you have the 90-Day Fiance severed, where his whole experience is just TLC shows with the wife, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's me. I think I am that severed.
Well, like, taking an edible is a form of severance, I would say.
True, but then also, like, how do we know that whenever we wake up, we're not the severed, dude?
I mean, that would be something that you'd have to create. You'd have to create some kind of grounding mechanism in the world you live in, the unsevered world, your reality, the master reality to all this. You would have to ground yourself. In Inception, he's got the top to know, like, I'm not in a dream. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like,
the app, dude. You have access to the app, so you're not the severed.
Yeah, I mean, I would
I'm gonna make
sever
the app,
religion.
dude.
I would just have a different me go to worship in every faith just to cover my bases.
Isn't that
You know?
counter the whole faith aspect, though?
Yeah, I mean that's
Like the morality that you're trying to preach.
It's like the Unitarian Church method, where it's like, any and all, like all faiths, bring salvation. Now I don't believe that, and but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's another.
Maybe
There's an any that's like a Buddhist that's like enlightened, in a way that I'm just not. I'd have a Mormon innie. I'd have an innie that wore magic underwear and
just
had
cover
7
all the
wives.
bases, dude.
Oh, dude, you could. I mean, think about it. It would be like It would be the only real way, I think, in our lifetime that we could access the multiverse. Who am I in this? What is the ancient one saying, Doctor Strange? Who are you in this great wide universe? Like, I could be anything, dude. I could live my life as like I could be one of those greasers that you see in like the modern era that have like defied like functional social society. They're like, I'm still gonna look like a greaser. I would never
That's
do
where
that,
you
but
went with it?
I respect those people.
I want to meet the greaser Eli, dude. The severed
I don't think
grease.
you'd like Greaser Eli.
Oh, I think I would, dude. I'd respect him way more.
I think Greaser Eli is probably doing stuff that you would not like, dude.
Would you be like the movie Greaser, or would you be like a cholo
Danny
greaser?
Zuko. See, I think Greaser Eli is the one that pulls his dick out at Sally's party, if I'm being honest with you. And
But the girl on the side would approve of it, dude.
she's all, "Hey, stud." I'm like, hey, Sandy.
It'd be fun to like be
Sandy.
bilingual and then have and have one of your severed like come to life and only hear French and only be able to speak French, and then
No,
just
so you can send one of your innies to learn French, and then he comes back, like when he checks out, you have that knowledge, dude.
Do you
I
think
would
that's
have-
not how it works though? Because you have none of the knowledge.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about in the way
okay,
we're doing it in the real world, my man.
So
I'm
you just
doing it-
unplug from like the hard things, but
it's like Severance meets the Matrix.
Okay.
And like I would have a Severance that was just John Travolta masseuse, and I would have him come back and be
Dude,
like,
I would love to meet that Eli.
oh dude, he's just like, you feeling a little tender in your thighs. Oh,
Oh,
take off my pants, Cindy. Adele Dazeem.
I don't even
Adele
know.
Dazeem.
What is that?
Remember when John Travolta came out and he introduced Adina Menzel and he's like, the wickedly talented
Oh, yeah.
Adele Dazeem. I'm putting that in. He doesn't know. All right, man. I think that people understand our twisted mind when it comes to Severance. I really think that there's an innie for everything. I think
Yeah.
the many things in your life that you want to check out, that you want to disassociate from. Why put that stress on yourself? Just give it to another part of yourself and check out, dude.
Yeah,
And
it
then
is.
come back in.
It is a really fun concept.
Did you hear about Cardi B got a butt crack piercing, dude?
I saw her post, but I didn't know what I was looking at because it was
Dude,
a weird picture, dude.
It was yeah, I didn't understand the picture. I just like had so many questions where I was like, one, if you're the piercer, is that not the line where you go like, what am I doing?
Well, they go lower than that, so I feel like that's a respectable piercing.
Yeah, but see, like a Prince Albert you've heard of. Have you ever heard of a butt crack? Like,
I have
I
now.
figure a butt crack piercing was like a form of torture in like the medieval ages. I didn't think that it was something that you went to a shop and was like, don't be stupid, give me the butt crack piercing. You know what I'm saying?
I want that to be one of the severed Eli's, dude.
Dude, Cardi B,
Chola E,
Cardi E.
dude.
It
I'm
is,
in.
dude.
Well,
Like,
the image that she posted was so zoomed in that I couldn't. I thought she got it like right above her boobs because the
Yeah.
closer you get to a butt, it kind of looks like a chest.
dude, but the fact that it's called a butt crack piercing,
Is that what it's called?
it's called a butt crack piercing. I even saw like the guy who did it, the piercing guy. Like, dude, like imagine going like, oh, your butt crack piercing Cardi B. Later that night, you're meeting your family, like your mom and your dad for dinner. It's like, what'd you do today, honey? They're already not like approving of the fact that you're a pierce.
Does he
artist or whatever they're
specialize in butt crack piercings?
I don't think so. I don't see how you could. I don't see how there could be that many people that come in and go, maybe now that she has it. But see, I say all this and set up because I'm wrong. There have been butt crack piercings throughout the course of history. Some of our greatest thinkers have had butt crack piercings.
Name two.
Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh, before
Who's Charles Lindbergh?
the first person that flew a transatlantic flight from America to Europe that crossed the Atlantic Ocean in an airplane, before he got in that plane, the Spirit of St. Louis, he said, hey, pierce this crack, dude.
Damn, dude, really?
And that was like back in the 30s or 40s.
Wow.
That was way before.
That was just
way
fish
before
hooks,
Cardi
dude.
B. Yeah.
Wow.
Sir Isaac Newton, butt crack pierced, dude.
Really?
Dude, and coincidentally got his butt crack pierced. Very next day was like, I think gravity exists.
Dude, because it was pulling on the piercing.
Pulling on the piercing, dude. He was like, I didn't understand the weight of gravity. I didn't understand gravity was a force on this earth until that crack got pierced. And now it's just pulling me down, dude. And there's, I don't mind it.
Well,
There are
I asked for two and you gave me two. Are there any more?
There's tons, dude. I was shocked to see how many people had, and not all of them great,
Oh, yeah. Is there like a shoddy butt piercing job?
Oh yeah, you can go to the wrong guy
Yeah.
that doesn't have the proper tools. He's just using gardening shears.
It's just on one cheek, dude. It's like, no, it's
Well,
supposed
it's a
to
diagonal
be.
cheek. Like with the butt crack piercing, you want it straight across.
Yeah.
Barbell.
Obviously.
But if you went to the wrong guy, if you're like, you're in El Segundo, dude, and like you go to a professional piercing place, you're like, give me the crack. And they're like, we don't do the crack here. And you go outside and there's a guy in the alley. It's like, I'll give you the crack for $5 and
Damn.
a burger from In-N-Out. And you're like, all right, cool.
That's
that
me,
could go
dude.
Diagonal. That could go like, you don't want to like pierce it into your cheek. See, there's a fine line between a butt crack pierce and a butt cheek pierce.
Yeah.
A butt cheek pierce is just being stabbed in the butt cheek.
So I saw, like I said, I saw the really shitty image of it. I would love to see like I wish I had one, a high res image to put up, just because I don't understand. Are you doing like a bar? There's not a bar that goes from one side to the other.
Yes, there is.
Is there?
There is. Do you think of like when girls get like their ear, they get the top of their ear and then the lower section of their ear.
Oh, okay. So it's okay.
That's the crack, dude. That's the crack. That's the crack. So
that's the crack.
Dude, I was shocked to learn that John Wilkes Booth was cracked up. He was pierced.
He was cracked. Is that the phrase, dude? Getting cracked?
Up.
Damn,
He's the one
dude.
that actually phrased it. Cracked up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, because he was the weird thing was, he was an ardent supporter of Abraham Lincoln. He voted for him twice, and then he got that crack piercing, and something in his head just went, "I'm taking the president out."
Do you think Abe like slandered him for the crack piercing?
Abe was like 4-7 years ago. This guy got a butt crack piercing. What a tool!
Damn, dude.
What's next? A barbed wire tattoo on his bicep or forearm?
This is where public school failed me because I didn't know any of this.
They don't want you to know that. Why would they want you to know that?
That's
Do
true.
they want you to believe that John Wilkes Booth was like a Confederate sympathizer?
That's true. It all makes sense, dude. It's all propaganda.
You got to look between the lines, dude, the butt crack lines, to really
between
find
the
out.
cheeks, dude.
And I don't want to disparage butt crack piercings.
No.
Not all of them are John Wilkes Booth. Some of them are Cardi B. All right, man. Well, I'm going to go pop an Alp, get in bed, take down a chapter of 1776, and then we'll come back.
All right,
Thanks for doing this, man.
It was fun, yeah. I missed you, dude.
It was fun. We'll see you again next week. Bye. They had to buck back a bit, dude.
Can we rebrand to Buck back a bit?
Bang my name, dude.
Bang my name, Buck back a bit.